Man United fans. They are bringing in Christopher Verville from Chelsea.
Unai Emery, when he wants a player and gets him the player, he will use the player.
Yeah.
The problem he had at Arsenal is that the players he wanted, Arsenal were not getting him those players. He told them he wanted Wilfred Zaha from Crystal Palace. They said no, they will not sign. And they went and bought him Nicolas Pepe. Who does that?
On this edition of Sports Arena, we are going to talk about transfers. Who's going where, who is being sold, who's going on loan, the rumors, the done deals. And of course, we're also going to tell you a little bit about how to do things on MYBET.AFRICA. Their game is ongoing, Euros is ongoing, Copa America also ongoing. So Charlie, what are you waiting for? Pascal tour and then make some money also over there. But these are the done deals that I have that have been finalized as at now. Now, Douglas Luiz to Juventus. The funny thing about this particular transfer is he had to include his girlfriend, who also played for the Aston Villa women's team. Dragged her also to Juventus, so it was like more like a double signing. But I don't know. I think Erik is somewhere laughing about this particular issue. Now, Samuel Illings to Aston Villa also done deal. Enzo Baranestia, I hope I mentioned the name right, also to Aston Villa. Dewsbury Hall to Chelsea. This is one of the signings that I asked a lot of questions about, but last, he's finally in the Chelsea blue. And of course, Michael Golding's also to Leicester. The rumors are Cancelo and Felix return to their clubs. That is something that we are going to look at as well. Calafiori, one of the, I'll say the bright sparks in the Euro so far, plays for Italy. Arsenal, Chelsea to look for him. Where is he going to? And of course, Zexi also to Manchester United. All these are rumors. Gentlemen, welcome. I have Benedict here. I have System Boss.
My name is Francis.
Thank you very much. System Boss, my name is Francis. Thank you so much and welcome to the show. So these are the done deals.
Why are you laughing?
The done deals, I've mentioned them. Dewsbury Hall.
Chelsea.
I think he's a brilliant player. This is what I think as a Chelsea fan. I think he's a brilliant player. I think, yes, it is good for him
his Maresca signing.
To join, yes, his coach, somebody who knows how he plays and all that. But I have issues with the number of midfielders we have in the squad right now. Those who will be coming back into the team after long injuries. Don't forget, someone like the Belgian, what's his name? The guy we signed from... I can't buy a prayer like three minutes. What's his name? Lavia. I feel someone like Lavia, for us, is a new signing.
Yes.
Because he's not really played. He's a new signing for us. Someone like there's Enzo in the squad. There is Gallagher in the squad. We don't know whether Gallagher will be sold or not.
But I think Gallagher will be sold.
So Gallagher might be sold. And there's also the Colombian. No, this is a Colombian. What's his name? Ecuadorian.
Yeah,
also
Caicedo.
In there. Caicedo also in there. There are other players who can equally play in the midfield. Another rumor that I heard is Chukwuemeka might be going on loan to AC Milan.
Yeah, but at this time, Chelsea are not looking for a loan.
They want to sell him.
They are not looking to even sell him, but there were rumors that he has a 40 million release clause in his contract. With clubs knowing, they can just convince the player and just trigger the clause, and the player has to move.
The player has to move. Okay, so far, these are the done deals and the rumors. What do you think about them?
So with Dewsbury, when we were linked to, or Chelsea were linked to Dewsbury, I was getting that feeling of Danny Drinkwater type of signing again.
This boy Leicester came to Chelsea and then he was shit.
But you are not getting that feeling of N'Golo Kante.
Oh, no. He doesn't even get to the level of N'Golo Kante. What I'm saying, Drinkwater is
and
one
funny
is
enough,
a manager
Chelsea bought N'Golo Kante less than 40 million.
Yes.
It's shocking.
And the funny thing was, we bought Kante and Chelsea felt like we need to bring in Drinkwater to complement him. And that was the issue. And this is the same thing. We've brought in a coach and we think Dewsbury is the one to complement his setup. And this type of transfers, if the coach doesn't stay and he's being sacked, the player becomes quote-unquote useless.
Redundant, please. Okay. Use the right word.
Because it's but the effective word is useless.
Because you'll be like...
For the sake of English.
You'll be like, a new coach will come in and you look at your style of play. Your style of play fits a particular type of formation. And maybe if he doesn't go for that, meaning you become like a player he needs to send on loan up and down, and you'll be sold. But I think with Maresca, he needs now, it's like you've brought in a player, you need to make the player perform. And that is one thing that may go against him.
Extra pressure.
Because extra pressure in bringing in a player, you need to make the player perform. Even if the player is not putting up the results, you need to at least play him because you went for him. And that's one thing, that's the only thing I'm having. But looking at his season at Leicester, he performed so well. He's like a Gallagher with maybe a Gallagher 2.0, where
vision.
it comes to more vision, more attacking, more shooting. And with him coming in, I was seeing like Gallagher going. If Chelsea are being tempted with 35 million, they'll just let Gallagher go. So that's my little thing about Jusbrio.
You are talking about Gallagher. What about Romeo Lavia, who is here to play any
But
proper football?
Lavia is more of Enzo Maresca boy from
You
Manchester
have
City.
Enzo Fernandez.
Enzo Fernandez there.
You have
Enzo Fernandez.
Moise Caicedo.
Enzo Fernandez is like a poster signing.
Signing Drewsbury Hall is something. When I saw the transfer,
It
I'm like,
complicates everything, to be honest.
complicates it because
Everything.
it should be about finding formula to fix what you have. Because no doubt, the four players, the quartet of the players you have in midfield, they are good players.
Yes.
Gallagher, Lavia, Fernandez, Caicedo. You understand?
Even
If you
their
add
little
Drewsbury,
ones
making
there.
5, and in this formation, only maximum 2 of them can start a game. You understand? So it's the Mudryk and then the other guy, what's the name? Madueke. Those are the guys you should be thinking about, because it's clear that if the wingers click, Chelsea clicks. When they don't click, they don't click. And the fact that Cucurella has shown that he's versatile, he can play in that position.
Yeah.
It's another thing altogether.
And with me, I was thinking Enzo Maresca would have gone for Fatau, because looking at our wingers on the right, if we are to bring Kopama as a 10, we have only Madueke on the right.
And Madueke does not whip crosses. He's the one that loves to walk with the
at
ball.
Leicester that he can play in the system. So I was thinking that was the best thing he would have gone for, because Leicester had to, I don't know if they had to like trigger the clause from Porto. I don't know if they've
Leicester
done it.
themselves have a problem due to financial fair play.
So this was the reason they should
probably
have
they
even
sold
gone
Drewsbury Hall to balance the books. You know, sometimes you have to sell
For sale.
to balance the books before you
yeah.
can get players in. And as at end of last season, they had problems with financial fair play, and they are supposed
And
to.
I think their homegrown players too were a bit down. So that's why they had to take a player from Chelsea and paying 5 million for that player to even balance their homegrown setup. So that was also one thing. But I think Fatau would have been a good addition to the Chelsea team. Maybe they may go in for other wingers during this transfer.
Is it Aston Villa's Douglas Luiz
Yes.
that has gone to Juventus?
Yes.
So they renewed his contract last season. Arsenal basically wanted to buy him, but they said no. Now you see the permutations now. In terms of business wise, when you have 1 year, clubs will fight everything just to renew your contract.
And sell you.
When they renew, then they will sell you. Because the moment they got the Spanish midfielder, is it Diomande or something?
And
They
they
got him
brought in Telemans too.
Tillemans was there last season when Leicester got relegated. By himself, he struggled for form. He never settled properly.
Yes.
But you know, with one thing with this coach, Unai Emery, when he wants a player and gets him the player, he will use the player.
Yeah.
The problem he had at Arsenal is that the players he wanted, Arsenal were not getting him those players. He told them he wanted Wilfred Zaha from Crystal Palace. They said no, they will not sign. And they went and bought him Nicolas Pepe. Who does that? When he asked for
Arsenal does that.
when he asked for Matteo Guendouzi from PSG, we saw how he was using Guendouzi until he left, and then Arteta started having problems with Guendouzi, and then he had to take him out. He asked for Torreira. When Torreira came, we saw how Torreira was brilliant under him. So he's a coach that has proven that when he asks for a player and you get him the player, he will work with the player.
All right. So there's some very funny rumors that I would like to look at. Calafiori. He, like I said in my intro, has been one of the defenders you see some bright spark. I mean, he's the main reason why Italy went into the next stage of the competition and unfortunately lost to Switzerland. Now, teams like Chelsea and Arsenal are after him. But as to whether he wants to come, it's another conversation altogether. But let's look at how the difference he will make in these two teams. Arsenal, number one. You're an Arsenal fan. You know how your team is set up. Do you see him to be the player you compare with William Saliba?
Calafiori he plays more like better in a 3-back system. People tag him as a wing back. People tag him as a center back. It depends on who you want to use it, how you want to use it. With Gabriel Magalhaes and William Saliba, those 2 players are undroppable. You look at Julian Timber. Julian Timber is fit.
Yes, he'll be
And
back.
when he's fit, he's the best right wing back Arsenal has. It's not the Japanese Tomiyasu. Tomiyasu can deputize. He's a good player. He's a decent player. But Julian Timber, that player, from PSV to Arsenal, wait until he starts playing properly for Arsenal. He has speed. He crosses very well. He sedges both fronts. He is quick. He's a complete wing back. The problem here is for Zinchenko, who plays on both flanks, and then for Tomiyasu, who also plays on both flanks. Where do they fit? Are you keeping one of them? If you are bringing Calafiori, then that means one of them has to leave. You look at this player. What's the name? The other player. His name is escaping me. That's not wing back.
Is it the one from, I think, Kivio?
So, Kivio. If Calafiori is a centre back, Kivio has to go. And to me, I feel Kivio is a decent player. Just that he needs time
to adapt.
He's
properly.
never really settled in the team.
It's true.
He's never really settled in the team.
He has never really.
He's there
Maybe
today,
probably
he's
we are
benched.
looking, whenever he plays, we look at him in the mindset of looking at Gabriel and Saliba in him. So we might be tough on him looking at him like that. But I think he has been decent in some of the games he has played so far. Arsenal's biggest problem is Mikel Arteta. He has to get his permutations right. If it is... These 2 guys have proven that they complement each other very well in terms of the role, the heartbeat of the team.
Gabriel
in
and
Thomas
and
Partey.
Saliba.
In terms of Thomas Partey and Rice. They have played that. They have proven that in the last 5 matches.
That they are good.
Jorginho can be a good backup. But playing a single pivot is a problem. Then the biggest problem of Arsenal, that's why I put it on Arteta, is Arsenal shouldn't even be thinking about defenders. It has to be a centre forward. You look at Lautaro Martinez in the Copa America. He's basically the star man. He's the top scorer of the team. He's clinical. He's scoring goals from the bench or from starting points. These are strikers that you will not get cheap. You've got to break the bank to sign.
Okay.
If Arsenal needs to sign a striker to complete the project.
Back to the Calafiori conversation. Now you've dealt with the Arsenal perspective. I want to look at it from the Chelsea perspective. Luckily, I have an Arsenal fan and a Chelsea fan here. I'll take myself out. I'll allow you to do the talking. Now, looking at the Chelsea centre back, number of centre backs that we have.
Chelsea have about 4 or 5 centre backs.
We have Levi Colwill. We have Badiashile. We have Disasi. We have Chaloba, who there are rumors that he might be sold.
Fafana.
They have Fofana.
How
We have
will you
5.
sell Chaluba and
Plus,
keep
we have
Tosin.
from Fulham.
6.
Is a done deal. And
Gilchrist.
then now Gilchrist. After Gilchrist also might be going
So
on
the big question is,
on loan.
you sign Calafiori and you let go of Chaluba,
But
who to me is a...
No, but with Chelsea,
you sign Calafiori
Let's look at.
and
with Chelsea.
you keep Badiashile. I have never been a fan of Badiashile.
I was in the beginning, but I just feel he's just had a few bad season. That's it. I'm serious. When Badiashile came to Chelsea,
And
he was
Badiashile
one of
has
our
a seven-
best.
but his style of play
He's on
doesn't
a 7
fit
years
the
contract.
EPL.
He doesn't fit the APL.
EPL.
He's too
Because
was
he's slow.
He's on a
slow.
7 years contract.
Yes.
7 years contract. And I'm looking at Chelsea going for Calafiori, depending on they would try and sell Badleshe, because PSG came in before the summer, like before the transfer window, and they were offering 40, 45. And with Calafiori, he's going for 30 now. So they are looking at least selling and balancing their books. He gave Juventus the green light, but Bologna are looking at not selling to Juventus. They are looking at selling to a club from
another club.
Europe. So they are looking at Arsenal and Chelsea. But to me, I think he would fit the Arsenal team. Not because maybe he's a bad player, but I'm looking at Arsenal last 2 seasons when Saliba was injured. They were suffering. So having a good backup coming in, there are games you can even go for a 3-back system.
Timber is there.
Timber is there, but we are looking at tall centre backs when it comes to some games. And going into games, he can go for a 3-back system, putting up his wing backs and trying to get the game. With Chelsea, if they are to sell players like Badleshe because Calafiori will come in, fine. But if they are bringing him in because you just signed Tosin, and I don't know why we'll bring in another defender again, whilst we have other positions we need to target, like players, like the right wing side, like the left wing side, we need, even to the point of even getting a striker. we've bought in Gueyo or
I look
whatever.
good to going.
But he coming in and battling with Nicholas Jackson, a young player who got few minutes in the La Liga last season, cannot be leading a Premier League club unless maybe he's coming in and having that ability like the Diego Costas that wouldn't feel like, oh, the league is too big for me.
Yeah.
But we need to get in a striker and the wings. We need to watch that positions.
All right, so watch this space. Anytime there's the rumors about transfers and done deals and all of that, definitely you're going to hear from us. We're going to be analyzing how best.
And also, I wanted to touch on the Omari Hutchinson transfer.
Why do we let that guy go?
And Chelsea sold him
Chelsea
to
have sold
Ipswich.
him to Ipswich.
that guy. You see, the mess started with Arsenal. You know, the guy started playing for Arsenal.
Yeah.
He became, people got to know him when he was younger. He was playing those cones balls and he was so excellent in the executions. But you know, Arsenal, for a point, Arsenal has been the most patient team in terms of developing talent. But for some reason or the other, I don't know, they've thrown that away these days. And I was so shocked when Chelsea pulled him. And you know, Omari Hutchinson is another Josh McEachran from Chelsea. McEachran was superb. But Chelsea were not patient for that guy. And I don't know where he is now.
He did
But
it
with
somewhere.
Hutchinson, it was more of Chelsea didn't look at him as a future player for the club because they brought in him from Arsenal on a free transfer where Arsenal had a 15 million selling clause in it. Chelsea were okay with the clause because they knew that the boy would have talent and would be able to sell him. So selling him to Ipswich after one season on loan and selling him for 22 million, Chelsea are looking at a good profit. They are to pay Arsenal 15% selling clause from the transfer, which if you are to break down is like 3 to 4 million out of the money. And Chelsea are putting in a smart business because I look at it from selling him for 22, they are putting in a 25% selling clause on his new contract. They don't want a buy-back clause. They are looking at after one season, the boy would reach the higher height and will be able to be sold for, let's say, 50 to 60 million, where they are going to make an extra 15 million again. So it was like picking an Arsenal player, putting him on the market, getting money, paying Arsenal back and also making profit. And that's what Chelsea are basically trying to do now, trying to at least sell players, get in players who would fit their system.
One of these is, I'm sure in the episode, we'll start talking about players that are still lingering around the Chelsea team. And on payroll. I mean, the likes of Malangsa is there. He's still a Chelsea player.
The funny thing, I checked Chelsea's team this morning. I was checking Chelsea's team list on the EPL app, and Chelsea had over 48 players. 48 players on their list,
Charlie,
including Malansa, including Kepa, who is, if you watch the Chelsea Premier League app, he's wearing the same number jersey with Sanchez. So I think maybe it's a strategy. They are looking at selling. And from the little information I had was Chelsea are looking at raising at least 200 million this transfer with Lukaku, maybe Kepa, maybe Gallagher, Chalobah, and all those players. So they are looking at selling. So maybe
I think in the history of Chelsea, Lukaku is a player they've spent majority of the transfer fees on ever in the history of the club. But for one reason or the other,
Lukaku is even the most, if you are to balance
the transfers across, his transfer fees outweighs every single player in the history of football.
They're
the player that comes closer is Alvaro Morata.
He's been very, very
because
good.
he has moved around among
up
the
and
big
down, up and down.
Anyway, so I think this is where we dropped the conversation. But don't, like I said, always watch this space for very, very good conversations when it comes to transfers, when it comes to football.
Please let me have one.
Go ahead.
Positive news for Man United fans. They are bringing in Christopher Verville from Chelsea. And I have Man United fans who were like, why should they bring in this person? But Man United are now copying the style of Chelsea. As Chelsea copied the style of Arsenal, as Arsenal copied the style of Man City. It's the same thing. They are trying to break in everything to make sure that nobody is being packed with a lot of roles. So they are making Ten Hag has renewed his contract, but his authority in the team has been dropped. Now he has been put in charge just as the head coach. And they are bringing in a sporting director from Newcastle. They are bringing in Christopher Verville as a recruitment team. So he and the sporting director come up with players. Ten Hag just needs to provide, I need a right back. They would bring in options you need to pick from. And at least it will help the United team because they are going into a system where the coach wouldn't have a feeling for a player and just bring him in. But you need to prove that, okay, this player is worth it through all the channels. And that's one thing Man United fans should be happy about. Going into next season, we've all seen Ten Hag to be a coach who is good with players, if the players are being provided. Some time back, I even made the argument of thinking that he would be the best person to fit the Chelsea team because you just give him the players you work with. So United fans should be happy about this. Going into next season, they would bring it because as at this moment, they're even going for Delete as one of the defenders coming in. And it's also good because pairing Delete with Martinez would be very good for them. So United
especially
fans
as Varane has left the team. Anyway, so thank you so much for tuning in. This has been Sports Arena. We're talking about transfers, and I always hit that subscription button, the bell, so that anytime we drop a video, you can be one of the first few people to see, comment, like, share. Let your friends, your mother, your father, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, or regardless they like sports, let them watch the video and let them be abreast with what's happening in the world of sports. My name is Kwame. I did this with System Man and of course Benedict. Thank you to the entire production crew. And to come here, save time on your phones, your laptops. Have a blessed day.